Yes, and I also want to share one nugget because I feel like your like audience and your community really we need to hear this. I'm hoping that people are starting to on their wealth building. It's super, super important to definitely have a tax strategy as you create, as you grow wealth and as you grow your individual income. Because if you start to make money, the more money you make, the higher tax bracket is, the more taxes you're going to pay. And a lot of us, we start making money, but we're not keeping it. We're not keeping it. And so I really recommend getting some kind of financial advisor or planner, even though you might be like, oh, it costs, I promise you, it'll save you more money than they cost you. Just to give you an example, literally for my taxes, and I always want to share this with people, is like having a good tax strategy in place, and not just like, I mean, it's like setting up an entity map, having LLCs and having trusts and having a holding company.
We're talking about that.
Doing all these things where you're setting up and reducing your liability and planning ahead. I have been making more money than I ever made in my life over the past few years. And I plan for this so that when I'm in that tax bracket, that's where they take 30, 40%, I don't have to do that. And my tax advisor got me down to literally only $1,500 of taxes when my income was over $500,000.
That's
$1,500.
And that's what they be doing out there.
Total.
Right.
Total. So this, and I have friends that have made more than me or the same and are paying tens of thousands.
There's all type of tax loopholes.
300,000 in taxes.
Crazy, yeah.
Wow. There's no reason to do that when you have a proper tax strategy, but you have to do it before you get the money. Don't wait until you get the money and say, oh my God, I don't want to pay taxes on this.
Right. You got to plan for it.
Do it
a year ahead, right? Yeah.
At least a year, yeah. But at least a year. At least a year, because you have to put certain instruments in place to be able to be your tax haven, and it has to already be in place. You can't wait till you get the money like, oh, let me scramble.
Right. You can't file for next week, what I'm saying, and try to do all that shit.
You're working on creating wealth, at the same time you're working on creating wealth, create a plan to keep that money.